Please don't bang the table, that's all I ask.
Oh, you got it.
Never had clapping before.
Playing patty cake?
Woo. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this late November edition of Topic Time with Harrison Young. These lively gentlemen here that just gave me the first clap ever for my theme song are going to be interviewed in a few minutes, and they have quite a story to tell. Before we get to them, we've got to read these great underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we got A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton, always open for service writers and tech writers. We got Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton, one number for towing, one number for projects. We got Big Lee's Automotive in Abington. We got Sweezy Fence Erectors in Whitman. We got Beach Charm Gift Shop in East Bridgewater. We got Pro Tint Professional Window Tinting in Abington, always open for new talent. We got Auto Town Auto Glass installed in Abington. We got Britain Tire Service in Brockton. We got Vape Solutions in East Bridgewater. We got Eli's Auto Repair in Taunton. We got Easton Fitness in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights. We got Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We got D&S Auto Works in Abington, and we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. I want to thank you guys very much. And now on that note, I'm going to introduce these two gentlemen. I believe they're a couple of sleuths, private eyes, if you will. This young man here, this is Richard Rafkin and his partner in anti-crime, I guess, Devlin Cabrera.
Anti-crime.
Right. They're private detectives. Richard is originally from Boston, but he lives in Queens, New York, and they actually contacted me last week to do a show. Said he wanted to do it. I don't know how he found me, but here we are. And private detectives do what they do. I do what I do, and everything happens for a reason. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming up here and being on my show today.
Absolutely. Well, I found out about you because this guy has watched episodes.
I'll take credit.
Okay.
I'm a fan. I've watched a couple of episodes, yeah.
All right. Now you're from the Boston area, right? Are you both from Boston?
You're Mexican,
I'm not. I'm
right?
Mexican.
So, yeah.
You're from where?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico?
Ciudad Juárez, Mexico. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Did you watch the show in Mexico?
No. Well, I live here, but I'm from.
You're
there.
Mexican. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. My cousin's married to a Mexican woman, but you wouldn't know it by her dialect because she's been in the United States since she was 3.
Oh yeah.
And,
So
and you don't have a dialect either. That's
you
what I'm
can't
getting.
tell.
Well,
No, yeah.
I think he's got a Boston accent.
How about
a little
that?
bit.
I have a little bit of a. I've tried to get rid of my Mexican accent and get a Boston one, but it's not really
Well,
working.
you got to speak what's comfortable for you.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well,
That's how it comes out. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we're going to talk about how you found me in a little while. But what I do with every guest, and since I have two of you tonight, I want to find out all about what you're doing now and how you got to be where you're at. And so that includes finding out about what you were like as kids and how it got you where you're at. And we'll start with you, Richard, because you're the one who contacted me initially a couple of weeks ago to do the show. And you're located in Queens, New York, right now. And that's
Well, I live in Queens. I work in Flushing, New York.
Okay, Flushing, Queens, in the boroughs of New York. I've been through there. I've driven through Queens.
Best known for The Nanny.
What's that?
Best known for The Nanny, Fran Drescher.
No, also, then the King of Queens. You ever see Kevin and Carrie? What's his name? Doug and Carrie, Arthur Spooner. Remember, that's the most current TV show.
The
The Nanny was before that. And the Nanny the Nanny was in Flushing. Right, and King of Queens was Queens.
Right.
Queens.
Right, okay, so that's true. And then All in the Family was also Queens. But you're talking Flushing.
Well, that's a very controversial show, is all.
They're all controversial. They're all controversial, and we love that we talk about them all the time. But Richard, let's start with you because I want to find out how you got up. You grew up in the Boston area. You moved to Flushing, New York. What were you like as a kid? Let's start with that, and then if I have any questions, I'll roll them in, and then we'll talk to you a little bit more too.
Well, I was always a very curious kid. I always had a fascination with mysteries.
Okay.
Trying to solve things around the classroom. There was this kid who always used to bully me.
Oh, okay. I know that well. Yeah.
You know how the desks would be set up in school, and they would have like a little pencil slot, and you'd keep your pencil there.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was a child, sometimes I'd go run off to the bathroom, kill time in the bathroom, because school would obviously be boring.
Yep.
I'd come back, my pencil would be missing.
Okay.
And so this became a recurring problem for me. And I wanted to crack down and see who's messing with me.
Okay.
So I eventually found out it was nobody. It was the kid in front of me.
Okay.
Reaching around. So I eventually figured this out because he tried to do it with my back turned. I caught his hand. I just grabbed him by the pinky and I said, "Not today, pal."
Ooh.
I threw that kid across the classroom. Look, He didn't try that ever again.
Wow.
So that's that's my mental point of where this all started.
Okay.
So that was my first case cracked.
Got it. No pun intended. And,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. That was a transitional moment in your life. You fought off a bully, and now
I didn't fight him up. I just assaulted.
you took care of him. You took care of the problem. That's good. It's nice to hear that. As
It's-
someone who got picked on all the time in school myself, it's nice to know somebody, was able to take care of himself.
Did you ever crack anyone with one, Harrison?
Well, I have, but
Right.
I know I didn't. When I got older, it wasn't easy. I mean,
Right.
Carry a hammer.
I work out now, so I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 62, so I feel pretty good. I'm in better shape now than I was in high school.
Okay.
In high school, I smoked weed. I ate meat. I don't eat meat anymore. I've been a vegan. I've been a vegetarian for almost 40 years, and a
Okay.
vegan for over 10 now. So, I live my life as healthily and as vice-free as I can. I don't cause problems. I don't look for problems. I try,
Right.
and
I'll cause some problems for somebody who needs to.
So I know.
Deserves it, yeah.
All right. Well, you got that. Take care of yourself attitude. So that eventually led you to become a private eye, correct? Somehow.
I would say certainly. There's certainly certain wrongs in this world that need to be right. People come to me. I mean, look. Realistically speaking, it's not that interesting. It's often a wife or a husband cheating on somebody.
Exactly.
But sometimes you get thrown an interesting little piece of meat that you can dive into.
Okay.
But 99% of the time, it's infidelity. It's people acting inappropriate, and you just gotta.
Right. Okay. But it's not even. So it's not as much law enforcement as it is just
No.
righting the wrongs for people that feel that they've been screwed by their significant others mostly.
Screwed is an interesting way to put it.
Well, I try to be interesting.
There's, I don't know if you remember a show called Cheaters from about 20 years ago.
A who?
Cheaters?
Teeter?
Cheater.
Oh, Cheater. Oh,
Yeah, the
Talk about
cheaters.
How about Derek Jeter?
Oh, Jerry Jeter of the Yankees. No, Jeter, yeah. Well, I mean, I can think of the funny thing is there was a guy that did a song called The Cheater, and he ended up murdered because he had turned out was a cheater himself. You remember that
Oh,
song,
wow.
The Cheater? I think his name was Bobby Scott or something.
Richard.
Not Richard. I know your name's Richard. I don't know, but he did a song called "The Cheater" in the '60s, and then eventually he got caught in an affair himself, and he was deceased because of it.
His wife killed him.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, all right. So tell me about yourself and how you're from Mexico.
Well, yeah, I'm a driver. I just drive him around. We work together, but I'm not really doing a lot of the investigating myself.
Okay, you're just a
I'm
chauffeur dude.
I'm more laid back. I just sit in the car and
He's
I'm
playing it a little subdued here. He does more than that.
I'm the muscle that doesn't really use
The
muscles.
muscle. You're
Yeah,
the muscle.
I am. Yeah,
Okay.
we don't even agree on. Yeah,
Oh.
but I'm more subdued. I don't really talk that much. I just drive.
Okay. All right. Well, how did you guys come to be a team?
Well, he picked me up one day from South Station,
Okay.
and that's how we crossed paths. A little casual conversation.
Yeah,
Um,
weird enough.
yeah.
He dated one of my cousins at one point in time, and
Cool.
yeah, we hit it off, and we've
Well,
been.
we did go to school briefly together, so we were familiar with each other, but we weren't really friends back then.
Okay.
So it was an easy point of conversation to have.
Okay. You went to school together. Was that high school, college,
Community
trade school,
community
detective school?
Yeah, community college.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to say? I'm
You
curious
trying to
what
humiliate me
college.
on the show?
No, I'm just making it.
What college was it? If you don't, I'm just curious. I always ask. I try to find out what people got educated.
It was
'cause-
Quincy College.
Quincy. Okay, so not too right up the road.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Harrison, can I ask you a question as a fan?
Okay.
The song, your theme song, where is it from? Where did it
Well,
come
it's an
from?
uncopyrighted. In fact, I should push this down.
Okay.
When on the night I started Topic Time, which was Wednesday, August 18th of 2010, the gentleman who at that time was doing Joe's job over in Marshfield, named Chris Lawn, he was their program coordinator. He said to me, "Okay, you're going to do it. You can start in the show tonight. You're going to try to talk for an hour." I had no guests at the time. Everything was just basically. I had the newspapers of the week and Time Magazine, trying to get people to call in and discuss the events of the news with me. He said, "So here's your little theme song. Is an uncopyrighted little piece of music for you." So he put it in the CD player. It sounded pretty julepy, so I started swinging around in my chair. And at that time, the one thing Marshfield had that none of the other stations had were chairs on wheels, so I could swivel in them. So
Okay.
that's basically, so it became what is known as at that time as the chair dance. So I would swivel from side to side. I started doing it the very first night.
So is that how that evolved into the snapping now?
Yeah, well, the snapping, because there's no, I mean, exactly, it sort of did evolve.
Right.
Because when you don't swivel, you have to snap. And now you guys even took it to the next level with the clapping.
It was just evolving it, yeah.
Changing the theme song? What about like
No.
Mambo number 5?
No, I'm a number 5. That's
Too expensive.
I like, this is my song. This will be with me forever.
fair
You know,
enough.
if it's not fixed, don't break it.
I like
Right.
the theme song from Cheers.
Well, I like it too, but that's their theme song.
It could be your theme.
No, I
Maybe
wanted
it'll be
to.
my
I mean,
theme
I
song.
copyrighted this thing for myself.
Oh, you did?
Oh
Is
yeah.
It,
I mean, this is.
is it a topic time theme? Is that what it's called
That's
now?
it. I mean, it's been with me 11 years. It'll be, if I'm doing the show in 20 years from now, it'll still be with me.
I like Mozart.
I like Mozart too. Well, tell me about. All right. Well, okay. So now that you're, how does your why did you relocate to Flushing, New York?
Well, that's that's a long story.
Okay, well-
I originally started out here in Boston, but I wasn't involved in private investigation work during that time.
Okay.
Was just trying to, I guess, distance myself from a lot of what I had going on here.
Okay.
And I wanted a fresh start, and New York offered that.
They did.
Yes. So I met a guy named William Evans who he introduced me to this line of work.
Okay.
And I was his partner for a number of years. And now I'm just going to do my own thing.
Okay. So he was your partner, so he isn't anymore. How many years was he your partner for?
Oh, jeez. Maybe about
Ballpark it if you're not sure.
8 years.
Well, okay, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, but in those 8 years, you learned a lot. So I guess you felt that you're better off just branching out on your own, as a lot of people do after a long period of time with someone. And I'm sure it was amicable. I'm hoping it was, but that's fine. I mean, you're happy doing what you're doing, and you're good at it,
Well, thank you.
obviously. All right. Well, I remember you told me last week. You're located in Flushing. That's where your office is, right?
Correct.
Okay, but that doesn't restrict you from doing work all over the country.
No, certainly not. As a matter of fact, I am in town looking. Well, I can't really get too.
No, don't get too.
I don't want to out
involved
any
because
names.
you can't give away too much
I don't
stuff.
want to out any names. But there's a man who's been up to no good.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'm currently looking into him, and I have Devlin here
Cool.
to aid in that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
The muscle. Yeah.
I
you're
understand.
not the muscle, you're the driver.
All right.
Okay?
I'm the muscle.
Don't try and he's trying to big shot me on the show. Come on now.
I'm a fan of the show. I want to look good.
You guys have a pretty good banter going. You might want to start your own podcast.
Oh, boy, everybody's got a podcast these days.
Well, it's true, and a lot of them are good. You know, I mean, that's just something you might want to do on the side while you're waiting to catch the bad guy.
Would you ever do this as a podcast?
Yeah, I'm doing I live in the moment, you know. I mean, I never thought I'd have gone this far with it when I started it, and I never thought I'd still be doing it. The very first night, the first thing I said was, "This is topic time. It's a new show of miscellaneous topics, and I'm just trying to fill an hour with my own voice." And then a few weeks later, I got my first guest, and I got on Facebook at the end of 2010 and into 2011. And next thing I know, I'm reaching out to people literally all over the world, and I've had guests on from all over the world, and I've had guests come from all over the country too.
So you had a call-in element before?
What's that?
A call-in element before?
I
in the
did,
show?
because when we were going live for the first 4 years, people could call in between 5 and 6. Now, I mean, I wouldn't mind having a call-in element again. I wouldn't mind having, a syndicated show like, I'd like to have Joe Rogan's thing going on. He's got a great deal.
Right.
I mean,
Joe
but
Rogan on this show would be.
Joe Rogan, in fact, I had Steve Sweeney on, and I warmed him up for Rogan. Steve Sweeney, the comedian, was interviewed by Joe Rogan after I had him on, like 3 months later. I interviewed him in 2018, and Rogan interviewed him in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Rogan's good. Rogan can hold a conversation for an hour and a half, and he can get 1 million hits on his show, which is wonderful.
Well, I think it's easy to do that when you're intoxicated, I think, right?
Whoa, yeah, that's a big act.
Yeah, I'm going after Joe because he does the show intoxicated.
Well, don't forget, he
So
was
I just
also a
remember.
comedian at the
Yeah.
beginning. And I try to keep my show as upbeat as I can keep it.
Right.
I do not, I mean, a lot of the talk show hosts now, especially the right, and listen, I try to remain as apolitical as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sean Hannity. I think he's cool, but his style of just grilling people is not the way I am when I do my show.
Right.
I don't want,
right.
I want people to like me. I want, I mean, in real life, I don't care what anyone thinks of me in real life, but when it comes to the show, I want to be loved by the world.
Right.
Well, I do care, you know what I mean, but I just want, I don't want anyone, I don't want it, this, when you're involved in something controversial, there's so much stuff that can go wrong, and I don't want to be I don't want to be that person.
You don't want to take sides. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, if people think I'm an idiot for one reason or another, I don't want it to have anything to do with the way I treated them on my show. I want everyone to say we had a great time. Well, all right. Well, let's talk about how you get your cases, if you don't mind my asking.
I actually want to turn the tables a little bit because I might have some information on you, Harrison. Now, I've heard that you have a special skill that You can do animal impressions?
Yeah, that came out of my yearbook.
Aha.
Wow, you really have been doing some research.
See? Hey, I'm good at my job. Wouldn't you say?
My high school yearbook.
Yes.
That was 44 years ago.
What were the animals that you could do?
Oh, I don't know.
It's been a while.
I mean, I like goose honks. I'm not going to do them now.
Right. I want to put you on the spot.
You kind of do impressions.
No.
You do Tiger, you do Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
What I thought you were going to say was, I have a special skill. I have a photographic memory for dates. Like if you told me a date of birth, I could tell you what I was doing the day you were born.
You know what? I noticed that on one of your shows. You did cite something from like the 1980s. Well, on one of the episodes, he showed me. That seemed like
You were born in 1967, right? Well,
What?
I saw that on your Facebook page.
Me?
No, him. I don't know when you.
Oh no! That's a fake date for whatever.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you don't look that. You don't look that old at all.
No.
Right. You look about 31.
I'm 33.
Okay, close.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure if you told me, I'm saying if you told me a date of birth, I could tell you. Well, that's because I have Asperger's and it enables me to remember stuff because of my OCD.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to throw a date out there? See if we can. All right, let's say August 10th.
What year?
87.
August 10th, 87. Let's see. All right, hang on.
The Red Sox won the World Series.
Well, that was 2004. That was a Monday. But
Do you want to pick a different one? All right, let's say June 16, 1994.
Okay.
The mask hit.
Well, let's see. Hang on a second. Sometimes.
Smoking.
16, 19.
Can you smoke?
No. No, I don't think so. No.
I think it was a Wednesday.
Oh, so you? Whoa, jeez. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to keep doing that too much.
Right.
I thought you might have found that interesting because that's something that I do on a lot of my shows.
Listen, I can't even remember what I did yesterday, so that's very impressive.
I figured for someone in your line of work, you really do have to remember a lot of stuff. But
This is why he's calling himself the muscle, because he doesn't have the brain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just drive. I just know how to drive. That's it. That's my skill. Pretty
okay.
much. Yeah.
Well, do you remember when you first saw my show? Do you remember who was my guest? My guest was.
Ooh, I think you had an actor. What's his name? I don't think his name was on the title. It was
Supposed to be. Somebody didn't do their job then. That's okay.
It was an African American actor, like a young guy.
Maybe Brandon Scales.
Oof, I don't
Jamie
know.
Foxx.
No,
Jamie Foxx.
I'm not gonna remember it, but I just remember that he did the snapping thing, and then I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Well, a lot of people do that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not sure, that's fine.
Yeah. I don't remember his name, but that's what got me
Get
into
you
it.
away from me and talk about some other guy.
I'm sorry. You're right.
What's the point of that? Come on
Yeah,
now.
you're right.
Well, let me ask you something. Have either of you guys ever? And I do interview a lot of actors and models and
Sure.
and musicians. Have either of you ever dabbled in any of those things?
I'll take a
In addition to you-
selfie from time to time, but that's about my extent of honesty.
Oh, we'll do that when the show wraps up, if you're okay with it.
Oh, great! Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. Oh, yeah. I noticed you're wearing sunglasses at night, so I guess it's a fashion statement. When you took them off, that reminded me. It's already dark out, and you were wearing them on the way into the building.
Hey, I left. I like wearing sunglasses at now. I'm kind of Corey Hart.
Corey Hart,
But,
yeah, exactly.
we left pretty early. It was still daytime, but
That's
at night-
true. I know. Right. So I know the sunglasses at night. They have a calming effect.
You know, traffic pretty horrible here in big city.
Yeah, maybe just not
Yeah,
to drive.
we're just late because when traffic happens,
Well, all
sometimes
right.
you're late.
So how do you get your inquiries for cases though?
Well, people will email me. Sometimes they'll leave a voicemail on
Okay.
my phone. I'll get text messages. We're kind of in the process of building a website.
Okay.
And that's going to be the next real step, so it's going to be a whole lot easier to get.
I'm sure it will be. I'm surprised you haven't got one up already. I guess it's because everything happens in its time.
Well, the pandemic put a kind of a dent in that.
Pandemic?
The person that was building the website kind of
I don't
felt.
really
Yeah.
want to talk about
All
that
right.
guy. Very unprofessional.
Okay. Yeah. You guys have like you have like a logo. You're gonna have a logo on the website. Anything
Oh,
like
yeah,
eye
yeah.
catching?
You know, I'm not a graphic designer myself.
Right.
I know a couple of guys like Fiverr.com.
Okay.
There's some very talented artists from like Indonesia that you can reach out to.
Yep,
And
okay.
get some logos done for pretty cheap. So probably, maybe something along those lines. Because I mean, as much as I would like to say this is a lucrative business. but-
Oh, I'm sure it's challenging. But now you do get inquiries from all over the country, right?
Mostly the Northeast.
Right, the Northeast. But I assume that you want more. Do you have are you tied in with any other connecting businesses other than in the Northeast or in Flushing? Do you have any? I mean, what I'm asking you is your office a national chain, or do you have any? Are you a branch of one of many, or are you a one-trick pony?
No, I mean that would be a great long-term goal to build toward. But no. We're strictly New York-based for right now.
Okay.
I would like to get something set up around Boston, but I mean, obviously we're going to have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
Oh, I know. Eventually you will.
Yeah.
But now you had something important going on this week. I don't know if you can talk about that, but it sounds like if you could, if that would be nice. If not, then we'll move on to something else.
Yeah.
If you can't give away too much, that's fine.
There's a man who's been.
No, all right. You want?
There's been a
about that. Okay.
naughty boy.
Okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Naughty is being too polite.
Okay. Now, do you ever deploy people? Now, I know you don't do acting or any of that. You never did. But I can't help but wonder if when you have to catch someone doing something, do you have people that act as decoys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you get those people?
Well, sometimes you can just outright hire somebody off like a Craigslist website
Right.
and give them an MO to do. That's not always the best idea because
Okay.
those people sometimes don't know what they're walking into.
Oh, right.
So if possible, like I've used Devlin here once for that.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Well, you want to be a little more elaborate? What did you have him decoy himself as?
Well, we had to make conversation with a woman
Okay.
and try and get some information. Oh, where are you heading? What are you doing? Are you meeting any friends? That kind of thing to hopefully fill in some blanks on a case that we were
Okay.
collaborating on.
Well, was she someone that wasn't supposed to know who he was, I guess? Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of a taxi cab confessions type of thing. I don't know if you remember that show from about 30
one?
years ago. Taxi cab confessions. Where it
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
yeah.
cab driver.
Like
and
you
then
talking to me?
Sometimes not. No, that's taxi driver.
Oh, of
So
course.
Taxi Cab Confessions was a show where a driver would drive people and they didn't know they were being recorded, so they would just say things that they were not supposed to say or do things in the backseat they were not supposed to
Well,
do.
that makes it sound kind of amoral, don't you think?
It was, yeah. It was kind
Well,
of like that.
That's not the same thing that what we've been up to, but I think he gets the idea.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: when it comes to doing that, do you have? I mean, what are your legal limitations or not thereof?
Well, here's the thing: if it's relating to a crime, if it's not simple like infidelity or something
Right.
like that, it's inadmissible. You're not going to be able to use that in any sort of court of law if it's
Okay.
A sting.
Okay.
Right? So that's primarily not what I deal with. I don't want to get involved in any sort of deep legal matters that might cause issues. It's very frequently just that.
Okay.
Or sometimes you look into a missing person.
Yeah.
Things of that nature,
Right.
where you can let the police do their thing and
Yeah.
I do my thing.
Well, all right. Well, let's say you are looking for a missing person. What exactly would that? I mean, would that entail? The cops have to know that you're out there helping them, right?
But not always. I mean, sometimes the families, they like privacy.
Right.
Look, police aren't always the most eager to help out private investigators because they think maybe you're trying to big shot them. You're trying
Yeah,
to
exactly. I was always wondering about that.
Yeah.
You guys don't. I mean, you work with the cops sometimes, but sometimes it's not an
It's
easy.
mostly retired cops who will get into that
Okay.
line of work or be willing to collaborate.
Okay, I understand. Right, I've seen that. I guess I saw that one night. I was watching new NYPD Blue, and I'm sure you guys have seen that show. That was my parents liked it. I mean, I'm not much into crime shows, especially now when you got forensic files and you can see the real thing like 100 times a day. Boy, they are graphic. But there was one scene where what's his name, Sipowicz, the short guy, who played. I don't remember the guy, the short guy with the bald head.
Danny DeVito, I think.
No, it wasn't DeVito. No, I'm talking about an NYPD. He wasn't on NYPD.
It wasn't? No.
But he was supposed to. They were looking for a missing person, and there was a detective, an old cop, and he didn't want to give his files away, and he goes, "This is going to be great." I don't know. It was kind of funny. I mean, it's always funny when you see a cop show and there's some kind of an altercation between two detectives.
Right.
Don't see
I
eye to eye. I'm
relate to
sure
that,
that goes for real life too.
We're kind of like a married couple sometimes, the way we bicker back and forth. But it's always, it never goes too far. He's not throwing like coffee cups.
All right, let me ask you this: on a scale of 1 to 10, how exciting would you say your work is? And this is a blunt question because I mean, what I want to find out is it like I know there's a lot of dragging going on, but I take it when you solve a case, it's probably like the elation of a lifetime, right?
It's the most satisfying thing. It's like a birthday party
Yep.
for yourself, by yourself.
Okay.
In my case, sometimes I have Devlin driving me to the bar.
Yeah.
But what about you? Because I mean, you're fairly new to this.
Right. Well, it's a lot of just staking places, right? Just sitting around waiting for things to happen. That happens a lot. It's not very exciting. But when we do solve something, we do have a little party ourselves. So
Well, that's great.
You know,
Yeah.
Motel parties.
Yeah.
We don't.
well, we don't have to say what it is, but it gets a little wild sometimes. Safe, but a
Well,
little
do you
wild.
have now? How many people in the firm? Is it just you guys, or do you have other people down there? in
It's
Flushing?
very small.
Yeah.
It's, I don't want to say. Look, it's
Oh,
not
you
the
don't
most
have to-
flattering thing to say. It's the
Yeah.
two of us, but
He's the brains, I'm the muscle.
Oh, I understand.
You're the
That we established at the beginning.
you're the hands.
Right.
Well, gentlemen, guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. We made it go by fast. Show
Wow,
just
that was
indicated.
fast. Yeah.
So I hope. I mean, this has definitely been probably the most unusual interview I've ever done, and I hope you had a good time, and I hope we
course.
covered as much as we could. And I enjoy. I appreciate your upbeatness and and I appreciate the fact that you seem to get into topic time the way the way I get into interviewing people on the show.
Let me ask you something before we go.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned before the show that you have someone that you work with. Have you had repeated guests on the show?
I've had people come back, but not too often. I take pride in getting new guests every week.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, never mind.
No, that's okay. Well, that doesn't mean I can't. Listen, there's no rule that says a person can't come back. I have had repeated guests,
Okay.
and that so again, there's nothing's off the table when it comes
Right.
to that.
Because this went, I don't know much about shows, but I think this went really well for like a second
Okay, well,
time.
what I
It's
want you
possible
guys to do, like
sometimes,
I may have mentioned at the beginning, is look at the camera real quick, give shouts out to people that are going to see the show, just condense them, family members, friends, or whatever, and then we'll wrap it up the way we started it with my
Can,
and you're snapping and you're clapping.
would you mind if I do that in Spanish to shout out
Go
people
ahead,
back
sure.
home?
No problem with me.
Go for
Mi
it.
familia de Juárez, muchos saludos a mis tíos, mis tías, mis abuelas.
Good.
That's-
Nice job.
yeah.
Yeah. I love the culture. Love the culture
Of
shock.
ethnicity.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of a single
I know
man,
you're
an isolated
sort of
man.
a free spirit. Not many. I get not much.
But to the man that I'm after, I'm taking you down.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys did a wonderful job. Now, what I always say to every guest too, before we wrap it up, is if you had a good time with me, and I don't know if the likelihood of this is big with you two because of the differences.
The line of work, yeah.
Right, the type of deal that you have. But if there's anybody that you know that could be an interesting guest, you got my digits now. Have them
course.
text me, call me, and we'll get them on. I am an open book.
We know a couple people,
I
I
know
think.
some perverts. That's what I know.
Perverts?
I
Well,
don't
Nah,
know.
they don't want
well,
to.
then-
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
all right.
that's
Don't
not-
keep
yeah.
the perverts away.
Yeah.
But,
Stop
All right.
the perverts.
Now, is there anything, just before we wrap it up, is there anything you got going on that you want to mention down the line? Any interesting events that you, before we wrap it up? If not, that's fine, but I always ask the guests if they've overlooked something.
Rathke Investigations, New York. That's what's coming in the future.
Okay.
Check it out, hopefully in a very easily found Google search.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys did a great job with me, and you ready to wrap it up the way you began it?
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
well,
do it.
you saw the sluice, and now we move on. All right, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. Next week we won't be here. It's Thanksgiving, so have a great one. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye. And here we
Wait,
go.
wait.
Sorry.
Come on.
There we go.
There. Just don't bang the table, please.